on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kevin Checkwitz. This is the Kaged match. And if you're a fan of wrestling, there is no way you could have gone wrong with Wednesday night, man. It was just momentous. It really was. It was history. And that's very cool. So there's been a lot of talk about how WCW closed their doors in 2001. And since then, there hasn't been any real competition for WWE. And I don't know if AEW is going to be competition or not, but they had a damn good start. They really, really did. So AEW Dynamite, man, the premiere episode on 10/2/19. Let's get into it. First of all, you have the announced team of Jin Ross, you have Excalibur there, and they have Tony Schiavone, who used to work for WCW back in the day. So that's got to be very cool for him coming back so many years later. Same channel, same system. So that had to be really cool. And they start out the first match with Cody Rhodes. He's with Brandy against Sammy Guevara. So the initial look at the set, very, very cool looking. I really like what they did with the setup for the stage, the entranceway. Very cool. You have two side entrances, kind of like tunnels that you can walk through from either side, from backstage to the ramp, or you can come up through the floor apparently, which was really kind of a cool addition. I don't know if they'll do that all the time, but it was pretty sweet. So right off the bat, you have Cody Rhodes, who is one of the guys who started all of this for AEW, and Sammy Guevara, who is an amazingly talented athlete. They kind of do a tale of the tape before the matches, which was kind of cool. They set it up so you get a little bit familiar, because premiere episode, a lot of these people are not going to know who these wrestlers are. So I've seen both of these guys in action. They're both very good. It was a damn good match. Really liked it. Had some really good crazy spots in it. And since it's TV-14, like the language you could tell right away was different than WWE. That kind of set them apart right away. And during the match, Sammy Guevara had a moment where he actually pulled Brandy in front of Cody Rhodes doing a suicide dive. So, that's something WWE hasn't really done anything like that in quite some time. So it has a little bit more of an edge to it right off the bat, and they're trying to point that out. So that was very cool. At the end of the day, Cody Rhodes, he takes the win. It was a good match. It was a great start. People were very invested. The crowd was going nuts, especially for Cody Rhodes, since he is very instrumental in AEW becoming what it is right now. So that was cool. Another really cool thing they did right away was during the commercial, it was split screen, so you could still see what was happening. That was important, especially for their first commercial break, because they're saying, hey, don't tune over to NXT. We're not going to let anything be missed. They did wind up having some commercials that actually went to commercial, but it was very cool that they did a lot of split screen throughout this program. After that, you get Brandon Cutler versus MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, who cut a promo. MJF is a really, really good heel. And so he cuts this nice heel promo as he's walking up to the ring. He sells himself very good. The guy can talk. So it was everything it needed to be. Brandon Cutler, really good athlete. They had a damn good match again. And one thing that I want to point out right away that they're, clearly, they were talking about making the importance of wins and losses, and wins actually matter in AEW. Well, that's cool because, when MJF won, they're like, okay, now he's like 2-0 for AEW. So they are keeping track, and apparently they've got something in mind of where they're going with this. So that's awesome, man. I like when they think stuff out like this. After that, Chris Van Vliet, who is actually a YouTuber. He's got his own little wrestling talk show, and he's hosted so many wrestlers on his show. So very cool to see him actually in AEW doing interviews. And of all people, he's interviewing Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes, who is right there at ringside. And then there was a couple of guys, a heel tag team that were, I don't know who they were, sorry, new. So they come in and they're talking a bunch of mess to Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes, and then Private Party comes out, and they kind of back the other two guys off, and that's kind of all it was. They had a couple of good jabs in there, but it was kind of a cool segment. So after that, you get a SoCal U promo, and since they're in Washington, D.C., it was set up like kind of like their Secret Service, and Scorpio was doing a great Barack Obama impression. It was actually a really good impression. So they had a really cool promo package there where they're kind of talking down DC, and then they interview them right there on the stage, right as you walk out to the ramp. And you have the Lucha Brothers come out, and there's a little bit of a fiasco there where they're talking trash, it leads into some blows. And then you see a lot of guys come out, referees and security and whatnot, trying to pull them apart. And Dean Malenko is in there. Like Dean Malenko, man. I haven't seen him in a long time. So it's cool to see him on a big promotion again. So yeah, man, it was a decent segment. And then you move into Hangman Adam Page versus Pac. This was going to be a good match no matter what. Hangman Page and Pac are two just ridiculously good athletes. They call Pac the bastard, and he's got this like ultimate heel gimmick thing going on. The match itself had some amazing spots. I mean, I don't know what else you can really say about it. This was everything you would want to see in a wrestling match, especially on a premiere episode. Very good. And Pac winds up picking up the win. He's now 2-0. You know they're going to be doing something with him. I mean, come on. Now, if you don't know who Pac is, he was Neville in WWE. So NXT, WWE, Neville. So he goes by Pac now, and he's just damn good. Then Britt Baker comes out on commentary, and she is here for the Nyla Rose Riho match. This is for the first ever AEW Women's Champion. And I think a lot of people were expecting Nyla Rose to win. She's a very big girl, and she can still do some really cool stuff. So I think that they were expecting, just because there's such a size difference, and there's such a David and Goliath story there. Riho is this very petite Japanese woman, who's very feisty, very athletic, highly athletic, and so it was a really good match. They had some really good spots. There was a point where Nyla Rose put Riho on a bunch of chairs outside, and then did like a somersault flip, and of course Riho moves and she lands on the chairs. So there was a lot of really cool spots during the match. A lot of people called this the match of the night. I don't know if it was the match of the night for me, but it was good. It was very entertaining. And at the end of the day, David beats Goliath, Riho wins, and she is the first AEW Women's Champion. And the crowd really reacted to that. And the crowd really made this night too. They were really excited. It was something new. It felt different. And they were just super pumped up. So it just it really put a smile on my face, honestly. Like, just when the intro came on for this program, I couldn't help but smile, because it's like, now everybody has to up their game again. And wrestling's going to get good again. This is where things get entertaining. And so I absolutely love it. So after that, you get this little segment where they were going to interview Riho, and Nyla Rose acts like she's going to attack Riho, knocks the interviewer down, and then Kenny Omega comes out and comes to Riho's defense. So that was very cool. And that leads up to the last match of the night, which kind of went all over the place, honestly. You have Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Santana and Ortiz with Chris Jericho. So right away you have a lot of really cool spots. People just going all over the place. If you've never seen the Young Bucks before, they are incredibly amazing high flyers, like daredevils to the nth degree. The Hardy Boys on steroids. They're really good. And Kenny Omega, he's one of the best ever, period. He really is. AJ Styles material. He's just so damn good. So they have a lot of spots where people are flying around pretty early on in the match, and then Jon Moxley comes out, who you know is Dean Ambrose from WWE. Jon Moxley comes out and instantly starts attacking Kenny Omega. They have a hell of a fight. Now, there was no DQ here, which I thought was interesting. Typically, you know, you would think that there would be an automatic disqualification for somebody else getting involved. That wasn't the case, so I don't know if that's going to be permanently how they do things or what, but very interesting. But at any rate, Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley have some just damn good spots while they're fighting up the ramp, through the crowd, into the VIP area, and there is what is clearly a set-up, staged glass table. I don't think it was real glass, otherwise it'd be cut to hell. But Jon Moxley lifts up Kenny Omega for the dirty deeds and slams him through the glass table. And it was a really good spot because the glass shattered. It sounded like glass. So, I mean, it was really, really good. Like, it made me gasp. And it made a lot of other people, like, you heard the audible gasp from the audience. So it was a really good spot. And then the rest of the match continues on. Young Bucks versus Santana Ortiz and Chris Jericho. Of course, some amazing high-flying moments in here. Both of the Young Bucks were just absolutely flying all over the place, trying to beat the other three guys. Eventually, the numbers game won out, and Chris Jericho hits the Judas effect, and so they all get the win. And then they continue the beat down, to which Cody Rhodes then comes out. You have other people coming out. You had Guevara come back out. You had Dustin Rhodes come out. And so you have this big melee ensuing, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Jake Hager shows up and just absolutely demolishes people. And if you don't know, Jake Hager is Jack Swagger from WWE. He's also undefeated in MMA right now. He went into MMA, and he has had a hell of a career so far. So now he shows up in AEW, and they actually make him look like a legitimate badass. One of the guys that clearly WWE just didn't know really what to do with. It didn't really work out that well. And his debut moment in AEW just looks brutal. So I really liked it, dude. That's where they kind of ended the show. Jake Hager, Chris Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz all standing tall. And so they just ran through the Elite. So very cool, man. Very, very, very cool show. I was very happy with it. They had some really good moments, some really good matches, some really good spots, a couple of good promos. Not too much for weakness here either. Like, they wanted to come out swinging, and I think they did. So, where does that leave us? As far as score, I grade out of 10 if you're not familiar, and I'm going to give this a very strong score, man. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 because they really put in a lot of effort. Wasn't perfect, but they were really trying. You could tell they had ideas of where they want to go. They had good matches. They had good storyline setups. Absolutely loved it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is my review for the first ever AEW Dynamite. Really, really good in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackowitz, Kaged Nation, out.